got this fighting game combo.
I'm here. Hello. Hello and welcome to Tales of Myth and Mayhem. My name is Lavaita. I will be your storyteller for this game of Hunter the Reckoning, Whirl and Rush, which is set alongside our Vampire the Masquerade Fall of London Chronicle. If you haven't been following so far, you can catch up via YouTube. But otherwise, we're going to introduce the players and we're going to carry on with the rest of our with our chronicle for tonight. Michelle is not visible, but she is here. So I'm going to start with her.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm playing Sonia Bacon, a very, very unsuitable vampire hunter.
Logan, do you want to carry on from there?
Yeah, so I'm Logan. I'm playing Felix Ducat, a really weird, short hunter who has a lot of strange predilections and a weird bag of tech.
And last but by no means least, Evee.
I'm Evee. I'm playing Lucas Fairbanks, oldest fuck guy of the Arcanum and Master Hunter. Sometimes.
Thank you very much. Now, where are we? Does anyone want to try and summarize so far what's been happening before we get into the meat of things? I'm hearing a no.
I could try. I'm just scared of getting a vital detail wrong.
If you get anything wrong, we can chat it through just so we're on the same page as we go into things.
Well, started off. My character was tasked with delivering a box of data on all the vampires and vampire businesses in London to a mysterious person who turned out to be Simon, a guy who is very heavily involved with a lot of hunters groups, who is organizing some kind of plan or plot to get rid of all the vampires in London. However, on our way back from that, we got a weird feeling and went to Hyde Park to investigate and found a body of a woman in a tree. There was some graffiti related to that body on a monument in London, but then that we don't know any more about that as yet. Then next, we all variously got called or invited along to meet up with Simon again many months later in an old pub, which will be our base of operations, where he said, hey, we're going to do a major operation in the next few days. We want you to go in and kill a bunch of vampires. And that's where we left off, basically. Is that right?
That's pretty much good. There's one extra thing that Felix was investigating, or had started investigating.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I know less about that than Logan/Felix does.
So Felix got some kind of communication from not really a friend, but like an associate of theirs that he has some history with, and they were concerned that there was some funny goings on at this like apartment complex. So Felix went to go check it out.
Nicely done.
Frog in the throat. Yeah. So went to go check it out. Got the vibe that the apartment that he was investigating might have, well, I don't think they use the word vampire, probably something else, but like something spooky that doesn't breathe or need a warm apartment or food in the fridge. He was like poking about and didn't see like, I don't know, like a living person type habits in that place. So he kind of bugged it real good. And is basically doing some kind of like remote surveillance on it to see if someone returns to the apartment, and if so, maybe his devices can tell him something about, do they breathe, are they warm or not, etc.
Okay, I have a quick update on your other bug, because you also dropped a bug in the apartment in, I've forgotten the area of London. I should have opened that map.
Simon, right?
Yeah, the one that you met Simon at.
Yep.
It's not picked up anything of note. There's been ambient noise. That's been it. I think the only thing you got was like a couple of police cars going past at some point. and which triggered the volume-related thing.
Got you.
The one in the apartment, the apartment complex, the social housing complex, let's say, on the Powell estate, I've decided to use, which is a reference to something, and if you know what it is, please say in the YouTube comments. Yeah, that's got
I
nothing
actually
at
got
all.
that reference, but nobody. But I never get references to anything.
That's
So I
all right.
get a
This one's a
point.
relatively obscure one, but I just wanted to get that one in there to get it out of the way.
All right, obscure. If I know it, it's not obscure.
Oh, fair, okay.
Doctor Who, right?
Yeah. Words have gone from me. Yeah, hasn't picked
Sorry.
anything up. Are you meeting all together, or if so, where? Because you've got a bunch of options. You've all got safe houses, but you've also got this pub venue that you can work from.
Sonia would have asked Millie and Seth, her friend, to essentially temporarily relocate to this pub and like live there whilst organizing things because she's very excited about being part of this. I don't know whether they would respond yes or no, and based on their response is whether that happens. So I guess would they say yes or no?
I don't know if there's anywhere to live there exactly.
I just figured it's a pub.
I guess you
Without
could.
There are
stairs.
some like comfy cells down below. You know, throw a cot
They're
in
not
there.
comfy at all. They're it's a cellar. It's where the beer is, and that's
Can sleep in one of the booths like I used to when I worked at a restaurant.
Well, I guess in that case, Millie would just be like, "Well, there's no one for us to stay there, but we can go there a bunch."
Mhm.
So most days, we're there like training, doing research on fighting things, fighting vampires, and at night, I will have set up a Raspberry Pi connected to an old TV full of NES games and trying to teach Felix and Lucas how to play Battletoads versus Double Dragon.
of course excellent choice. Now I've been trying to keep a hard focus on what date it is. So we began in August, but we've moved to March as of the last session. So your last session was played on Monday the 5th of March, and today is Tuesday the 6th of March, I think. No, I apologise. The first session we played as a 3 players and me was Tuesday the 6th of March. Today is Wednesday the 7th of March. It's the morning. This is where I got unstuck with the vampires because we crossed over the day. So light rain is what's happening in London today.
I think Felix would be going back and forth from like his safe house. Like he has a place that he doesn't necessarily want anybody else to know about. And he's got, I don't know, one of the things that he has there is like a workbench, tools, kind of like a setup that he can modify things with. And like his little devices like feed into like small TVs and stuff, radio equipment and stuff that he has there. So I think during this drizzly day, he would probably be dragging like a wheeled cart behind on his Vespa that he's thrown a tarp over. And he's like bringing over TVs and electronics and tools and maybe like benches and stuff because now that he has some people to work with, he can work in the pub and maybe keep people from finding about his other place.
Very sensible. And Lucas, where are you? Are you going to relocate anything from your palatial home?
No, I have the driver drive me to the pub when needed. Otherwise, I'm studying in the library and among other things.
Is there anything particular you're studying at the moment?
We have Angel Person, but we also have 2 rather mundane human beings that would not be able to ward off vampires, as per grabbing that perk with my library, how to ward them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be researching that, which I believe is a check I need to roll.
Yes, and
Yeah, it's not terribly exciting, but I think Felix would be working on like cable management and some kind of like hub setup. Definitely integrating the Raspberry Pi. I think he will definitely take breaks and play some Battletoads.
I am once again wishing that. So the the list of attributes and skills in the screen is alphabetical when I'm used to it being thematic. So I'm just looking at your sheets for the roles. Felix, can you give me an intelligence technology? And Lucas, what would you suggest for your research role? Because I want to include your advantage.
I believe it is how to halt them is what I have. The edge pool is resolve and academics, but you could easily change it to resolve and occult, and then add my specialty.
Yeah, I don't want to. Do you feel it's more academic or occult?
For vampires, probably occult.
Okay, then give me a resolve occult, please.
And then add my specialty in vampires.
Flipping heck, that's a good pull for you, Felix.
Need to find out what specialties does. Rather, it makes my 10s
Yeah, Felix is just trying to like tie those devices he's planted into like a central hub. So I imagine if you've ever read the comic book Watchmen, where Ozymandias has like a bank of TVs, or like that first Batman with Michael Keaton, like he's just got a bunch of monitors and different feeds coming in from different places.
What does specialties do?
But like way crustier and with like old black and white TVs and stuff.
Do you want me to double check the big book?
I think it's +1.
Yeah, but you've got higher than 1, haven't you? Got in this, oh no, it's a specialty. Yeah, you get +1 on the dice pool.
Yeah, so yeah, +1.
I don't need the big book for that. I remember this.
What's the difficulty? Probably 2.
Oh, this is just seeing how well you do. I don't think I'm going to let you fail. It's just a question of how long it takes you, kind of thing.
Yeah. 4 successes.
Okay, you both got 4. That's enough. I mean, you're getting the job done, certainly. You're probably getting it done with a degree of skill. You know exactly what you're doing. So, Felix, I'm going to say you've successfully set up the bank of computer monitors. Cable management is pretty splendid.
Thank you. He's like got a cigar in his mouth, and yeah, every now and then he spits it out in frustration, and then like crimps some stuff, picks it back up off the floor, dusts it off, puts it back in.
And Lucas, were you looking for anything specific, or is it generally about the stuff that we know so far?
Mainly if there's any it's stuff that I would know so far, but mainly just stuff that I can bring from me and Felix. Sorry, I drew a blank on your name.
I always look at the screen so I can be sure which name to use, because otherwise I get confused with player names and character names. And
yeah, I'm feeding my cat right now, so
okay.
I have to remember off my top of my head. I'm gonna try and find some things that me and Felix can have to ward them off a bit better than just, hey, back up, and then point a gun in their face, because sometimes it doesn't work.
Sonia,
yeah, Felix is not a lot of help with that. He doesn't have like a lot of occult or anything like that, so you might think it'd be useful for a hunter, but he gets by.
Yeah, Felix is more technological, I think. Sonia, I'm not sure I want to make you do a roll for setting up the stuff that you've brought, because that's quite manual, and it's like I don't see what benefit. Like, you've just done it. It's not beyond your skill.
Well, the only thing we were looking into techniques on how to better kill vampires, was what I said, and that's basically it. Everything else is just usual training and stuff, but probably more of it, because this is, to Sonia, this is like the equivalent of, after years and years of playing in pub backrooms, suddenly being asked to open for, like, oh, what's his name? Harry Styles at the O2.
Maybe not in 2012, but yeah, I get the gist.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who was big in 2012. Oh, probably that guy with he's got an afro, but he's white, and his songs are still to this day used all the time in Marks & Spencer's adverts.
Are you talking about, what's his name?
Exactly. You know, but you don't know his name.
face? Yeah,
He's
ginger guy.
yeah, very
Sheeran?
forgettable.
Yeah.
Oh
He
no,
sung
not
that
Ed Sheeran.
No, Ed
This is
Sheeran.
before Ed Sheeran. This is somebody else. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
I don't want
point
to get
being,
too bogged down by that, but yeah, it's the equivalent of
Yeah.
that.
yeah. So she's like, probably overdoing it, but wanting to basically train all day, every day, whilst reading up on how to better kill vampires, so she can be like, I'm gonna win this.
I think Felix would make you watch like a bunch of action movies from the 80s, like Best of the Best, Bloodsport.
Steven
That kind of
Seagal
stuff.
movies.
Yeah.
I like the idea
Yeah.
of this cultural exchange that's taking place.
He'll try to be your Mr. Miyagi as much as he can.
Aw.
Danielson.
I can imagine you might conflict with Millie on that, but that's
Probably. He's got you like standing on milk crates and stuff.
I've got so many parental figures in my life. It's getting crowded for parents.
Well, that just means Lavaita will have to kill a few of us off soon.
Oh god. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've
yeah,
got
is
a
there
note
anything
about
I
some
should
things that
roll
might
on,
happen.
like researching vampire deaths and training lots and all of this stuff, or are they just done?
I'm just considering. Can you give me a resolve in
Oh, yeah.
academics just to see how much info you're getting, please?
Yes.
And I
Where
think
did
that's
I
a
put
reasonable
roll
pool for you as
20?
well. It should be like 5 or 6 dice, I think.
Resolve academics.
And
Where
after
is
this,
my
because I do
guy?
remember that I haven't installed a little box where you can see what everyone rolls, I will tell you what everyone's been rolling. Watchers, listeners. Okay, so Sonia got 2 successes. Lucas got 4 and Felix got 4. Double checking that one. Oh, you did get a 10, but only one of them. So you've learned some new stuff. You've picked up some skills, but you haven't sort of pushed it to a new, like, now I can do this thing rather than just this thing. But you're getting somewhere. And maybe next time could go somewhere. Felix, you had another text from your touchstone, whose name I've temporarily forgotten and I'm just looking it up, asking if you found out anything on the Powell estate when you went round there.
Yeah, so her name's Deepti.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll tell her that.
I didn't write her on your actual paper character sheet yet, which is
Oh, no
my
worries.
mistake.
I mean, I didn't write. I don't think I wrote her on my digital one. But anyway, yeah. So he'll text Deepti back like, good work takes time. Like, this. Like, legwork is not easy. He's telling her like, he's making progress. Doesn't have anything concrete, but he hopefully will soon. Asks her if she has anything else to add. Like, did she hear anything else or anything?
It was essentially that her friend's family lived there, and they've been having a really weird time. Of like, some people have been reporting having nightmares. There've been some weird noises at nighttime. Just generally like weird vibes. Like only in the last few weeks.
Yeah, refresh my memory. Was he able to find anybody to talk to when he went around?
There were some people there, but you were distracted by wanting to go and speak to the other people as well.
Okay, yeah, I think at that point, like Felix might share that with Sonia and Lucas. Like, hey, I bugged this place after I broke in, but maybe not so hot on the interviewing part. And suggest that maybe
that was your player reason for not talking to people. I remember this.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of forget. So I was like, yeah, he kind of like he's not unaware of how he comes across. So I think he's like, maybe the fun young lady would have better luck getting people to spill their guts.
Now, just to pull back from the roleplay side of things for a moment, we should talk about what's listed here as Chronicle tenets, but I think they're are they called tenets here? I don't need to double check the actual sheet.
I know
it
what
says
you
Chronicle
mean, though.
tenets. We should
Yeah.
decide some rules that affect all of you. Now, this isn't the same as your lines and veils. This is what your characters would and wouldn't do. So, as a group, can you kind of agree 2 or 3 things that it would be not okay to do, or like rules you'd want to have? There are some examples which I can quickly put in our Discord chat so you can see them. Have you got any ideas going in yourselves of what would be sort of suitable? This is not okay. This is okay.
Felix,
I need
like,
some examples because I don't know exactly what kind of things you're
Okay.
referring to.
I will.
yeah, I know Felix finds like targeting younger people to be like out of bounds. Like he figures like once you're an adult, like it's fair game. But he absolutely is like not down with like kidnapping or hurting kids or anything like that. But he would totally like kidnap an adult and put them in a cell or something.
So I've put some example ones in the chat, but I wanted to talk about this on stream because it is part of the game that we can. We could have done this at session 0, but we aren't entirely. I feel like you've more fully formed as characters now and how you interact, and this is probably a good time to do this because it does affect some of the mechanics of the game as well. But if you agree on things that it's not okay to do and things that it is okay to do,
Yeah, I like elements of all of those.
Sonia is against harming or killing anyone who isn't a vampire.
oh,
So maybe we should have a discussion in character at some point about what you define harming to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what's gonna happen is one of you is gonna be like, hey, we can't like kill kids. I'm gonna be like, the Canaanites have children vampires, you fools!
Well, that's different than they're not kids. They're vamps, right? So
Oh
And
yeah,
then when this becomes a novel, every time Lucas shouts, it's gonna be, I said it calmly.
vampires are like non-persons to Felix. I'm not saying he's right about that, but like that's how he feels.
so it's like never something except vampires.
With the exception of the Canaanite plague, we will not destroy any innocent life.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
like
about.
I have been told explicitly by an angel, literally an angel, that I am the cure for God's curse on humanity. So Sonia believes on some level that what she does to vampires is kind of a kindness to them.
I wonder
Whereas
how that's going to work in a police interrogation. Why did you kill them? God told me.
well, that's the thing. Like, she knows that no one's going to believe her, but what's she going to do? Lie and say she never met an angel? That's just silly. But yeah, So I think that would be the thing. She absolutely would object in very strong terms because she's like the protector. She wants to protect people.
Well, to
So I'm
borrow,
feeling like a
to borrow the actual text from one of the examples, then, thou shalt not harm the innocent might be where you're headed.
Well, yeah.
Or never kill the innocent, which is a...
Both.
or what
Really?
about just kill? I don't know. Maybe some light harming here and there.
I'm going by what's like.
I'm going to put the
Sonia's
innocent
got a
in
very
armor.
strong sense of justice and also was told by an angel to protect people. So harming people would be go against that. So that would be the tenet.
So don't let Sonia know about it. Got it.
I mean, I'm not saying these are rules you're never going to break. I'm just saying that you don't want to be breaking them.
So the idea with Chronicle tenets, at least from a vampire perspective, these are things that are obtainable, but they are also things that, in a situation where you're like chasing someone down and you A-train through a person, you absolutely, like, there's an old lady in the way and you're like, I gotta catch this person, and you just decide, yeah, I'm gonna celerity through the old woman. And the old woman, becomes part of the sidewalk forever.
It's like every other Tuesday in a Vampire Chronicle, right?
Yes, but like their rules are easy to keep, but also when the time arises, you're gonna get hit with a moral quandary of, for the sake of expediency, do I just kill a human being just because they're in the way, or do I just find a different way that is usually the harder way to?
So I'm hearing like a strong humanist bent from Sonya. I would sign on for that as a Chronicle tenant. You know, those
We
are
are
fine.
humans. It'd be really weird if we're not human. Like we don't have a humanity.
I mean, to pull back the curtain even further, in Vampire there's a system of stains and how that can affect your humanity. And Hunter, mechanically, in Hunter the Reckoning 5, which is what we're playing here, doesn't have that. But I think we can incorporate it to a degree, because I think Hunters can also lose track of their own humanity.
In older Hunter editions, there's
Yeah.
definitely a writing about hunters who, at least in like Vigil, there's slashers, people who are completely lost to the hunt. And in Old Reckoning, there are definitely hunters who forego their normal human life and just become giga hunters of hell. So it is something that I think they should have added the hunter.
Well, I'd like to do it as a mechanical thing just now, and then I'll figure out what the consequences are if you break them when we get to that. But I want to figure out what they are first, and I think it's better if you set them in character, ideally, or at least as a discussion like this before we go too more further into this.
No women, no children.
Yeah, I feel like that broader like don't intentionally bring harm to the innocent is pretty good.
Okay.
That sounds like a solid one.
I'm going to
I
make a
didn't
note
know
of
that
that.
this is going to be applying to all players. I thought this was like...
Yeah, it's all players.
All
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
for the
the
whole-
Chronicles, it's all of you.
Okay, I wasn't making a pitch to everyone take this on. I was talking entirely on the whole, this is going to be Sonia's thing, because I thought we'd all be picking a thing.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I
I
agree with that one.
misunderstood, so I wasn't trying to like force that on people, because I didn't know that it was on people.
It's
on
fine.
everything.
It turns out they agree with you, though.
Oh, good. Well,
Mhm.
I'm glad.
Now we just got to pick two more. So
Double tap. One for me is never destroy new knowledge.
Ooh.
That's something that definitely would tickle Lucas's pickle.
And how do Felix and Sonia feel about that?
it makes sense to me. I wouldn't want to remove like a tool, that we could have in the hunt. So
I'm just thinking better specifics, as Sonia would, to be fair. A specific part of Mass Effect 3. No, Mass Effect 2, they carried over into Mass Effect 3, where a player is presented with the scenario of keeping data that could lead to a cure of a very vile virus that was released onto a population. But that data came from the torture and live vivisection of thousands of people. It came from a genocide, in a very weird genocide, but a genocide nonetheless. So would it be right to use that data? And in that specific scenario, Sonia would delete the data.
How did Sonia
Would
learn
delete.
what worked on killing vampires?
Sorry?
How did Sonia learn what worked killing vampires?
What do you mean?
Well, presumably they tried other stuff that didn't work, and the stuff that did killed the vampire.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is that, like, I don't know if Sonia would be down with always not destroying new knowledge when that new knowledge could be horrifying.
Yeah. It is
Like, oh, here's a really cool way on how to make a magic poisonous gas that anyone could make with ingredients they can buy from any supermarket at any point, and I'm going to put it up online. Sonia will try to stop that person from doing that.
Don't
so
look
I
that
can
up,
see,
anybody.
yeah, I can see the downsides to this idea. I mean, it will create drama.
What do you mean downside?
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what the parameters of this are because, like, are we speaking as our characters here?
Yeah, you can speak
Or
as
are
your
we speak-
characters. That might be an effective way of doing this.
So we're just sat around talking about lines we wouldn't cross.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, at this point, Sonia would have absolutely explained at great length this one scene in Mass Effect 2, talking about, right, well, you see, the Solarians invented a disease called the genophage that meant all of the Krogans couldn't breed, right? And you had this data that a guilty Solarian who was partially responsible called Morden, who was one of the designers of the genophage, he wanted to keep the data that came from this atrocity committed by someone he used to work with. So in that situation, I'd have to say I would delete the data. I would delete the new knowledge.
Looks at Felix. Did you get any of that?
Yes, I understand. But this all happened in the past, right? So
Well,
if you
technically,
destroy,
it didn't happen
if
at
you,
all because this is a video game called Mass Effect 2
yes, I understand.
that's set
But,
in the future and it's fictional.
But the suffering of those people was real in the narrative sense. So
Yes.
if you do not use the good that came from the suffering and you destroy it, then they suffered for nothing. So it seems foolish to get rid of this. Maybe make a statue for the poor babies or something.
Maybe make a statue.
Yes.
Well, they
poor
weren't.
genocide. Oh,
They kind of weren't babies. They were kind of clones that were cloned to be experimented on and die horribly. That was the entire thing of their life, which is why using that data felt a bit weird.
Yes, it comes from a bad place. Maybe publicize that. Don't do this again. This was bad, but now we can cure froggy breeding problem or something.
Well, now, what I will say is when we beat the Hun back in the second kerfuffle, we took a bunch of their research papers and things, and
Now
many
I
people
don't.
were
Now I'm
killed for
completely
that.
lost.
So a lot of medical advances in the world that we have discovered were made during the war, during a significant emotional event, both by the Japanese and the Germans. We know a lot more about what goes on inside the human body because of those researches that were not very good. So that would be another example to make. And the Hun is an old slang term for Germans that was made in the First and Second World Wars, and maybe earlier.
Oh. Well, you raised a good point, but I would counter it with this. Wouldn't by saying this knowledge, it would mean nothing. It would make these people's suffering mean nothing. Mean that their suffering counted for something, therefore was right.
No, I would not say it was right, but the thing exists now, and you cannot go back. For example, this city that we find ourselves in, this shithole, built on a swamp of corpses and horrible atrocities.
Londinium.
We all like to go outside and get a kebab, what should we do? Burn it all to the ground? It sucks. It was terrible, and we try not to repeat the things in the past, but we can enjoy London here and there when the Thames is not so stinky.
I'm glad I live very far away from it.
Just for the record, the Thames doesn't smell like in reality.
Maybe not
anymore.
to a British person, but stinky to me.
That's strange because that doesn't the smell of the Thames is never a problem that comes up here, ever. There's pollution problems and all sorts of stuff, but the Thames, they keep pretty clean because they have to.
Now they do. In the Victorian times, it was not very good, and it
was a river of shit. It was a literal river of shit. That's what the Thames was. It was a toilet.
All right, so I actually don't see a problem with this second tenet. It just means that that'll be a friction point, if we break it, right? Exactly. For me, I was I might harm some innocents here and there to get to what I need to, but that just means it's a role-playing opportunity. I think it's a good tenet in general. And then maybe we break it and that's interesting, and maybe we don't. And I think the second one's also interesting.
So-
when and if we break it.
So the idea for these, and I'm just gonna throw it out. These games we're meant to be a cooperative party. However, we're also our own person. So, while Lucas would think, that person's a ghoul, I'm gonna dispatch of them. Our good friend Sonia might not and find a way to save them, or Felix might keep them in the basement for potential bad times.
I mean, similarly, if you're going to say never harm the innocent, you might say a ghoul is not innocent, and Sonia might say no, that's a person in there who can be redeemed.
Exactly. So a lot of these are also meant to run party friction. It's not meant like vampire and
Right.
hunter and werewolf aren't meant for you to hate each other, but it's meant for you guys to have a little bit of a personality clash when it comes to
Welcome to the grey area. This is where we live now.
your
Yeah.
personal ethics. My personal ethics are vampires kill innocent life. If I can use the knowledge in which they killed innocent life with to kill them, then that's good. And I will continue to do that. But it's not meant to be like, this is what we cannot do at all.
Yeah, it's not like a brick wall, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like your character, evaporates into red mist if we do it. It's more like it'll be interesting, like if you want to push for the destruction of the genophage, and Lucas is like, well, hold on a second. That could be really fun. So.
Or if it is a brick wall, it's one that you should expect me to push you up against at some point, and not in a sexy time way.
But could it be in a?
Moving on.
Why brick wall instead of like a nice bed? I don't get people sometimes.
Any other suggestions? Things like respecting others and demanding respect is a good one, or like upholding the norms of decent society.
I kind of like the don't snitch one.
Ooh.
Because we are outlaws, and hunters. So like, if I'm just saying, if Felix went down, if the SI got a hold of him, started cranking off fingertips and toes, he wouldn't say shit.
I will never speak. Fuck you.
And
he would.
Felix would
He would
expect
say
no
a
one
lot,
to
but
report
it wouldn't
the
be
theft of the
useful.
beans.
Is this all snitching?
Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? It was not me. You will
No,
not
but,
get
like-
me on this one.
I guess to take it to its logic, to its an illogical extreme, I should say. If I watched Felix murder a baby, would this tenet make it? Would it cause a conflict if I was like, I should tell Lucas about this?
Might do.
Well, let me
Because I would be
hypothetically-
technically snitching.
Well,
That is a snitch.
Not to the group.
No.
Not amongst ourselves.
Not in-
But like if you were like, hey Simon, I saw Felix eat a baby chupacabra and get superpowers, then I would be like, no, you didn't. And what the hell are you talking about?
Okay.
Hey
so,
Simon, you
well,
missing some beans?
Like, yeah, okay, no snitch. I'm down with that.
Yeah, no snitching. Don't be a snitch, or the entire group's gonna corral you and kick you.
So what
Yeah,
I
man.
have on my piece of paper, which I will cascade to your character sheets at some point. I got the sense of it. Don't intentionally harm the innocent. Never destroy new knowledge, and never snitch.
Snitches get stitches.
Crossing that out.
This group of hunters is built like a prison gang. Wonderful. Well done, everybody.
Like a prison gang that's really interested in like knowledge and stuff.
An inquisitive prison gang.
And
Well,
very protective too, right? Like
To quote the Inquisition, innocence proves nothing. I'm sure many innocent lives will either accidentally or on purposely be taken. On purposely be taken because we think they're a ghoul and we don't really have any idea of how to identify that besides your vibes are rank. We need to shoot you in the head now.
So I feel like this is taking us up to about lunchtime. Are you going to do any more at your base of operations, or do you want to go investigate this social
Felix
housing
would be
deal?
pushing to investigate. Like I think after having that conversation, be like, Now that you realize I do not eat babies, and maybe we can go check out this apartment. It was a good lead. I think
I
we might
did say
find
logical extreme, but I take your point. I'm sorry for making that suggestion. And well, tell me more about this apartment. Why?
It is very weird. So supposedly people live there, but there's no food. The bed is unmade. There's nothing to read on the shelves. Toilet is immaculate. So no evidence of biological processes. So, but yet people come and go, and neighbors are having strange dreams. Sometimes the supernatural can spill over into unconscious dream states. Maybe more Lucas's territory. I do not know. I've just heard of these things from other hunters.
Well, if we're going into a canine nest, Lucas is going to hand you a wreath of sticks and wicker work in a Celtic rune. Put this on your neck. I'll put it on mine. I don't know. Here, Sonia, I made one for you as well. If you need it, put it on. If you'd not,
This is a very nice, but like a friendship bracelet or something.
no.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
I can make friendship bracelets later, but now this is a old piece of Celtic magic that I have imbued into it that should hold off a Cainite long enough for us to either run or kill it.
Have you tested this?
No. But I did read it, and I have used something similar before.
I feel
Lucas,
very
Good work.
Whether it works or
very
not, I
comforted.
love it. Thank you.
Yes, very secure and comforting.
I know magic. I thought you knew this. Have you seen my house? Why would I say it wouldn't work?
I mean, I know you have concepts of magic. Perhaps we will see.
I think it should give us, given the reading, it should give us either a +4 or +2
To what?
to anything to. Let me see, because Hunter is very broadly worded on things. It doesn't tell me.
I hope it helps me in Battletoads. I've been sucking so fucking hard in this game.
So how to halt them? It would give them any attempt to ward or otherwise protect an area or person or hide them.
And Lucas made this.
Yes, it's part of the how to halt them. I read a book on the prey that we're currently facing.
Can I please have an occult dexterity roll just to see how well that went?
Yes, I can do that. Occult dexterity roll.
Yes. And I have to move my windows around.
Do I add my specialty in vampires?
Yeah, okay. +1 to the pool.
What's the difficulty at?
I'm not going to tell you. It's just number of successes is like the more effective it is.
Okie dokie.
Do we roll like a
7.
composure?
Good grief. We've got a crit.
That's a good crit, right?
Yeah.
It is.
It's so if you get 2 10s, it's worth 4 successes, and that's what we have here, which is why I rolled 7 dice, got 7 successes, even though 2 of them were failures.
I am a fucking wizard.
These are going to work. If you meet a vampire, they're going to work. You might want to add them to your character sheet. I think there's an equipment area, or at least there's notes. Yeah, there's an equipment section. There's an equipment section on your proper sheets. If you want to make a note of it somewhere that you've got a talisman that will give you a
talisman of protection.
Let's will we call it True Faith?
We could do True Faith 1. That would make
it's
sense.
not. It's kind of an item that's imbued with it. I think that's how I'm going to try and play this.
Is it imbued with the power of friendship?
Yes. This is an anime bracelet.
This sounds incredibly Disney. Yeah.
See, I'm gonna add that to my equipment.
Even in the world of darkness, nothing can overpower the strength of friendship.
Oh,
I mean, the Sabbat certainly believe so.
I mean,
That's why they blood bond everybody.
there's the dice. I mean, dice can overcome everything.
Shotguns and other stuff, but come on, man.
The healing fire. Now, I think I did some of the description of the Powell estate last time. I may be repeating myself, but I'll just go through the description again to make sure I've done it, and I'll be reading the right section. Where is it? Powell Estate is a social housing estate near a large park. It consists of 6 18-storey buildings with a square in the centre. There's parking below and around each block, and the square has a Grade 2 listed sculpture on a plinth. It was built in the late 1950s to general acclaim as being a good alternative to the slums, but by the late 1970s the area was unofficially classified as socially problematic. It's very grey and discoloured in places from decades of pollution and rain. Greenock House, which is the one that we're interested in, is a shorter but longer building nearby. It's only 7 floors tall, but it's a lot longer. A ground floor above each and above each residence is a two-storey sort of flat with a front door. So you've got like a row of paving slabs on every other floor, and it's like there's a apartment, a flat off that. This is going to be risky, but I'm going to try and flip over to the map that I've got here that people on the stream can see as well. Actually, I'll flip over to the map for you folks in Roll20 first, and then I might do some OBS work before I show the map to everyone else. But if I change the page, you can see the map, move the ribbon there. It'll take a second, but it's coming in OBS, in Roll20, sorry. I flip to studio mode, I can try and... Because the map screen doesn't have Sonia's picture in it, basically. Or my camera, apparently. So, as you're approaching the building, that's what you're seeing. Large grey 1950s era kind of social housing. There's some people around, a couple of people doing the garden. There's people generally milling about. There's a few kids hanging about near the entranceway.
Did my devices like pick up any activity, like someone returning or anything like that?
Only sort of background noise and silence. There was nothing happened in that apartment.
Okay.
I rolled for it and everything.
What
Nice.
time
Yeah.
of day is it?
It is about lunchtime, just after lunchtime.
So it is daylight. So all these people out in the sun are clearly not.
Well, they're not. It's drizzly, but they're outside anyway because people hang out. You know, maybe like in the lee of the building.
Okay. From the outside on the outside of the building, does the place that Felix wants us to go look any different from the others anyway?
Different kind of front door, but other than that, it looks very, very anonymous.
Felix will explain how he got inside last time, which is basically like he crept up there, he took out like any sort of cameras, and then he used like a lockpick gun to like get inside. But I think there was like a balcony too, right?
There is a small balcony. It should be on the map at the front left. Top.
So he's like, it's possible like someone could get up onto the balcony and then let the others in. There's all kinds of different options we could take, or we could try to, canvass the area and talk to people, find out about these weird dreams, because, like dream analysis wasn't on my character sheet. So
entirely fair.
I am not very good at talking to people that aren't involved in things like this. So I'm just going to try and climb up the building and make my way to the balcony.
On the outside?
Yeah, let me just have a quick peek. Yeah, like
If that's the plan, Felix can improvise some stuff that could aid you. He can give you like the lockpick gun that he had that gives you, I think it gives you 4 dice on lockpicking attempts.
that's good.
Yeah, and then other than that, I might be able to, I don't know, make some kind of grapple hook thing or something.
The front door was unlocked. I think the place you broke into was Simon's.
Oh, okay. I must have misremembered then.
It's all right. I should have said earlier. I was just thinking, was that the place? So I'd been looking back on my notes, and no, the person, the flat had been abandoned, more or less. I think is how people are
Okay,
thinking of
that
it.
tracks.
So there's nothing in there of value that, as far as people know, but you don't need to climb out the outside of the building.
I don't.
No.
Oh,
I mean, if you really want to, I won't stop you. But
maybe it's all part of the training.
you could climb up the side of the building and then meet the other two inside. So
well, we can all get in anyway.
yeah.
And we know that from the ground. So in that case, she wouldn't do that. If there was no way to get in, that's what she would do. But if there is another way in, she's going to not be weird. Be like, no, I won't take the stairs. I'll take the bricks.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little disappointed.
I mean, there's other buildings you can Spider-Man on if you want to later.
If by the end of this whole thing, if I haven't Spider-Maned on something at least once, and that sounds weird because Spider-Man does lots of things.
Yeah, I
you know
need
what
to
I'm
think of
trying
a
to
better
say.
verb. It's my fault.
There's a list of things that the Spider-Man does.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right. So we
let's
go into
walk
the
in.
flat.
Let's go look at the place.
Right. Why is this not doing the thing? So inside the flat, it is dark in the hallway, but there is a light coming through the windows in the front room. I'm just making the last adjustments so everyone watching the stream can see this as well. Hopefully this is going to work.
As we're going in, Felix will just describe kind of how he poked around. He didn't really find any like secret rooms or anything like that, but that doesn't mean they're not here.
I mean, yeah, the map layout is there for convenience. It's not. Felix doesn't have that.
Right.
So as you come in, you've got the hallway in front of you. You've got a small cupboard to your left. Straight ahead is like the reception living room kind of area. There's a couple of couches in there and a single-seater sofa. The curtains to the balcony are all pretty much closed off. Very thick curtains. There's some stairs up on the left from the hallway, which will take you up to the bedrooms.
Do I see or hear any signs of vampiric presence?
I think there's a lot of indication that there might have been a vampire there at some point, but there isn't a vampire there now. So, for instance, all the curtains are shut. Felix could have told you there was like a kitchen worktop level of wood pressed against one of the bedroom windows. In general, the curtains are closed, but it doesn't look like anyone's lived here much for a while. There's like bookcases with some books on them, but they're nothing like intrinsically vampiric. I'm trying to think what details you'd be looking for if this was a vampire's haven kind of thing. Thank you, Brian.
Signed copy of the Masquerade.
Treaty of Thorns pinned to the wall.
Bottles of blood in the fridge.
No, nothing in the fridge. Felix inspected that pretty closely. Kitchen looks very clean and tidy, but it's like entirely 1970s. It's all sort of green tile and like lighter green kind of olive cupboards and fittings.
Okay. I would say to Felix, so just looking around, the people that live here are either vampires or are never here, like living in Dubai or something, whilst having this place as an investment thing?
Yes, I had thought originally that maybe they would return, and I would know when they did so, but no one has returned. So the only thing I can think of is maybe there's something spooky, magical, or something that I missed, or something. I don't know.
That's what the dream would suggest. But there's also the issue being that the most obvious explanation is probably the one that it is, and the most logical explanation so far to what I'm seeing is something weird's going on.
Yes, and I would think if they were completely absent, then the dreams would have stopped. But from what I understand, it continues.
Did you talk to anyone about the dreams they were having?
No, I thought maybe we would have more luck together.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can ask. It's just I'm not the best with people, but even I know that going up to people and being like, "Hey, so this dream that we know you had, tell us about it," from three complete strangers who let's look at the two of them and say, this applies to all of us in equal measure. I think we're quite weird looking as a people. Like, I don't think I would use the term weird, but that is definitely how we are going to be perceived, because we, like, as a group, we have no. It would just be a strange thing to ask someone, is what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
even I know you don't just start with that. You make some small talk. I don't know, some kind of bullshit. But anyway, maybe we look around the
Yeah.
apartment. Maybe these books are something special I do not have the knowledge of. I do not understand. Lucas, what do you think?
Well, there's books. Hmm.
Do any of the titles stand out to you as particularly weird or anything?
What kind of Lustian Argonian made novels are we looking at here?
Nothing from Tamriel, or wherever Skyrim was set. I can't remember. Merely like early 80s paperbacks, so things like Stephen King's It, Toni Morrison's Beloved.
Georgie? Don't read Stephen King's It. It's not a very good book. Very good movie though, with that fellow who plays the clown.
I
Not
do
the
not
new-
like, nor do I trust clowns.
Oh well.
There's
Think
some.
about it.
It's generally fiction. There's mainly books for adults. There's a couple of children's books, like larger hardback. I forget what they're called. Board books.
Did none of did I? I'm aware that it might be cliche, but sticks a hand on the shelf and just shoves all the books off, looking for a Switch book.
There's now a pile of books on the floor.
And I'm going to start rifling through the books and see if any of them are a certain book about a certain man who killed his brother. Smile. Looking for the Book of Nod.
Nope.
Unlucky.
That would be a place to leave it, wouldn't it?
Well, most vampires are very stupid with their things. Oh god, hold on, I'll be right back. My cat's making a run for it. Well, she has something in her mouth.
Something Felix didn't do the first time was like pull up the rugs and look for sigils or trapdoors or anything. He didn't like look behind, picture frames. He was trying to be very careful about, leaving no trace. But I think at this point he's like, well, no one's coming back to this place, so we might as well dig around hard. So I think he would be less careful that way.
I'm going to vigorously search the bedroom because, in my experience of being a hunter, I've realized that a lot of weird shit goes down in bedrooms. So the fastest way to figure out what weird shit's happening here, maybe, for Sonia to completely tear apart the bedroom, like rip open the bed sheet to look at the mat, the bed liner, and like take pull the wardrobe away from the wall and stuff, and really like gut this room, do a proper search.
Okay. Felix, can you give me a resolve and awareness? Sonia,
Yeah.
can you direct me towards which bedroom you're looking in first, and then do the same thing?
Oh,
And I can give you a quick description of the bedrooms, like as if you were just looking at them if you wanted.
Yeah.
So
I
up the
guess.
stairs, there's a bedroom in front of you, which is bedroom like top left. That is pretty much set out like an abandoned kids' room. There's a bed there, but there's no bedclothes on it. There's a couple of toys around. There's like a sort of dresser. Couple of drawers in there. The larger bedroom, it's laid out like an office kind of thing. But there's nothing drawing your attention to it particularly. It's just there's a desk, there's some pens and stuff. There's a lot of empty space. The back bedroom is the one that's got the worktop pressed up against the window. And
That's the one I want to search.
Oh, okay. I need to rearrange my windows so I can see your rolls. Sonia, can you also give me a resolve awareness, please?
Resolve awareness.
Yeah, click
right
resolve
up.
first. I always need to remind myself of that because I'm so used to putting it like that way round, but in roll 20 you have to click it the other way around. So Logan, you got 3 successes. I'm guessing you're working in the reception room, Felix. Okay.
Huh.
You got 5 successes. Wait
Well,
a second.
Am I going to find the solution to the whole thing?
I'm just
now,
double checking. I think you did academics and resolve, and I think it should have been awareness and resolve.
Oh shit!
That's
My
a really
bad.
good academics roll, but we're not investigating that right now.
If it helps, my awareness and academics are the same.
Oh well, we'll just take that then.
It's 2 and 2, so it makes no difference.
So it is. Right. I'm going to come back to you, Sonia, because Logan's going to be quite easy. There aren't any sigils. You can't see any signs of like tampering or anything weirdly from your knowledge of stuff happening here. Underneath the rug is carpet. It's quite threadbare. It's been walked on. Give me a second. It's been walked on, but it's not got anything weird happen to it. It's been vacuumed probably, but it's not. There's nothing weird about it. Nothing uncanny. Was that all you were checking for just before
Yeah, just that kind of stuff, like stuff that he might have missed on the first go around. So, like, he would have taken more effort to like push couches and chairs out of the way, look under them, that sort of thing.
It's dusty. It's an old flat, and clearly nothing's been moved around there much. But it's nothing weird. It's almost like weird how there isn't anything. Okay, upstairs, Sonia. Sorry, I'd muted you temporarily. I've just unmuted Lucas. Sonia, upstairs there is a sort of mattress on the floor. The light sources have all been covered up to the extent that there's even like you can see where there's been tape around the door. But there's nothing there now out of the ordinary. It's like someone's been using it to sleep in complete darkness, but apart from that, nothing.
In that case, I'm going to do exactly the same thing in the next bedroom. Bedroom 2.
Okay, in bedroom 2, I'm going to let you just carry on with that with the 5 successes that you got, because re-rolling this isn't going to speed things up or be narratively interesting. Hang on, I need to make sure I'm talking about the right bedroom here. The larger bedroom at the top of the stairs there, the one that hasn't had the light blocked off at some point, it's had a bed in there. You can see where it's been in the room. There's an area where the carpet is much better than everywhere else. There is a wardrobe, but there's nothing in it. And there's like a dressing table with a mirror. There are curtains and they're drawn, but they're not like thick or weird in any way. They're not reinforced is the word I'm looking for. That's kind of all you're getting from the room. There's nothing particularly weird. It's like an old bedroom, smells dusty. There's some dust accumulation at the edges and on the see, I'm getting this now. All your vocabulary just vanishes when you start STing. The bits of wood along the bottom of the floor. If you can remember the word, tell me. But yeah, that's all there is in there. So it's dusty and it's not been used in a while.
Roughly how long since it's last used do I think? Can I tell that?
Could it be 90s?
So this hasn't been touched in like 30 years.
12 years.
Oh. That's, yeah, still
12,
a long
20,
time.
12, maybe 20 years.
I will impart that knowledge to whoever's around in the group and just be like, this
Sorry.
place hasn't been messed with in over 50 years.
Well, that room hasn't. The
No,
bedroom,
that room.
the first bedroom, maybe more recent than that, but
Yeah. While I'm at it, I might as well 3 for 3 do the same thing to the third room.
okay.
because
Third room
why not?
was plainly a kid's bedroom when the last this house was used as a home. There are some toys still kicking around in the cupboards. I'm just looking at the map and my descriptions again. Yeah, there were some toys in the cupboards. There's like a couple of bits where you can see there's been a paint, like stickers on the walls that they couldn't get off. The curtains in there are a bit more jaunty, but they are closed as well. But there's not any reinforcement there either.
I'm not entirely sure what to do with that, but let me think.
Okay, give me a second.
So Felix will ask the group like if there's a way that they can, I don't know, maybe there's records kept in some way of like who used to stay here. Maybe there's, I don't know, something we can dig into that way.
As in, who bought this place and owned it?
Well, yeah, and like if no one's in here now, I would assume someone is paying rent on it, or a landlord or whoever is not letting it out, and so those might be avenues of investigation, right? Like, but I don't think he would know like how to access public records or anything like that.
That's reasonable.
And also, I don't know if records like that are public in England. I have no idea.
I think that there are ways to look up that in the UK. It's just not the most precise because lots of people can live in a place. But yeah,
I know in the US, like you can tell who owns a building, right? Like you could go to the town clerk, find out who owns it. I think in a lot of cases you can even get like blueprints and stuff like that, which is super weird. But yeah, I didn't know if any equivalent like that exists in the UK.
There is an equivalent. I'm just trying to double check something before I re-roll a thing. And I'm trying
Sounds
hard
like
not to say it out
something
loud.
somebody with a big library could maybe help us with.
Or a really good internet connection. It doesn't even have to be that good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Endowments and aptitudes. That's not what I'm looking for. Why? Why do you not explain the thing that I need right now?
Am I? Oh.
no.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah,
Am
I
I
just
muted?
said. I just said like, no, you're not muted.
No, you're
Did you
not.
not
You're
hear
not.
me?
I'm still. You're not muted on the stream either.
Okay.
Could you hear Sonia there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, this is a thing with Video Ninja. Sometimes you'll be just talking and realizing that no one else can hear you. And the first thing you know about it is everyone talks over you. But that's not happening here. Where's the thing? Felix, while you're checking downstairs, can you just roll me a little melee strength?
Yeah, sure.
No, actually, strength athletics to dodge the book that's been thrown at you. You're not going to take damage from the book. I just want to know if you get out of the way of it. Oh, that book's hit you. You've just been hit by a flying paperback.
Yeah, I was gonna guess no if it involves strength or athletics. So he'll turn around and try to see the direction of the book.
It was from the stack that was moved off when Lucas was looking for a switch.
Did it come at me like parallel to the ground at some speed, or did it like fall from above me?
It was like it had been thrown.
Did anybody see that his fucking book just clocked me in my skull?
Sonia, I think, is upstairs. Lucas, where are you?
Good question. Probably upstairs still, like looking.
Yeah, if they're not in the room, Felix will be like, "Hello, a little help? It's fucking ghosts."
Guys, I think you need to see this. Yeah, I'm gonna go help Felix.
He's sputtering like a French Donald Duck. Like he pulls off his coat, he throws it on the ground, and he's like very like frustrated. He looks like he wants to 30 Styles box the room.
You sound like that duck man who doesn't heal people in that PlayStation game.
Let's see how you feel when there's some invisible goddamn spook throwing literature at your face. You come
Thank
on
you,
and
Ghost.
fight, you coward.
Thank you, Ghost, for the thing. I may be specialized in vampires, so you know ghosts are real, yes?
Yes, I know. I will fucking burn this place down.
No,
Just
no.
you watch.
Oh, let's not burn things down. The resale value would go to hell.
Sonia, there's a commotion downstairs. Are you going to come down or are you staying up there?
I'm going to rush down, my big glowy god stick in hand, and just say, like, everyone okay? What happened?
I need you to smack the shit out of everything here. Everything here.
Why?
Something is flinging pages at me. I do not like it. It's terrible.
Must have been the wind.
The wind? The wind? Felix will like fucking go to slap him. And then he like looks at the big rifle and is like,
He puts his hand up, me puts the rifle to my both hands. I don't think you want to hit me, friend.
Let me find this stupid spook.
I don't think we can find it. I think it might be it might be what you say it is, or it might be a discipline of some sort.
You
Might
make no
be-
sense. If you will not be any help, then shut up while I work. And
Listen to me.
He's gonna start digging around in his bag. I think he wants to like cobble some kind of weird Ghostbuster EKG thing together.
It's probably, if it's not a ghost, it's probably a vampiric witch of some degree using their powers to catapult things.
Yes, go pontificate and do nothing.
I am going to try and placate a spirit if there is one.
So he's like angrily like slapping pieces of stuff together. Like I don't watch a lot of ghost hunting shows. Like I'm just working on 40-year-old knowledge here. But I've heard of devices that are supposed to measure ambient sound and electrical activity, blah 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 blah.
Yeah? You're going to try and build something?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use like frugal and whatever the fuck that perk is that makes me go really fast. This is it can do it in like 3
Mm-hmm.
3 rounds. I don't know if they use rounds.
Kind of. We're not really using rounds at the moment. We're just kind of we're using rounds in an elastic sort of way. That's
so
going to
my
be really
thought
useful for
process-
if we're doing combat. Then that becomes a massive factor.
Got you. So my thought process is that, so he'll build a thing that will give him extra dice on awareness and something to do with finding spooks.
Yep. Just checking technology and can we call this technology a dexterity technology for building? And
Yeah, that's
you've
fine
got
with
your
me. Sure.
you've got your Is it? Hang on. Is it? You've got a bonus in weapons. It's craft. I'm sorry. It's craft. It's not technology because you've got the bonus in weapons smithing, so you get an extra one in your pool. Can I double check? Are you smoking right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's thoroughly stressed out. So I think he's like pulled his jacket off. He's sweating. He might have even pulled his hat off.
Oof.
And yeah, he's like sitting cross-legged on the floor, like spilling things out of his bag, and then just slapping things together, pulling out wires and stripping them and twisting them together. And I'll make that roll. You said Dex and Craft, was it?
Yes.
Okay, hang tight.
With a bonus to the pool, one extra. Six successes. Yeah, you've made a useful device that's going to work well. So it's detecting like electrical stuff or temperature stuff or.
I think it's like EMF.
Oh,
Well, I don't know.
EMP.
I don't-
force.
Sure, I don't know what that's an acronym for, but it sounds right.
It's either electromagnetic or electromotive. I think EMP is electromagnetic.
It's like he's got like this weird box with like a little screen on it with like stuff wiggling, and then like 2 things on the top doing this.
Oh, like a Ghostbuster style.
Yeah, and he's like holding it, like smoking really hard. I will find you, you son of a bitch.
Give me a second. Need to count and roll, and then count again.
Sonia, you get that stick ready.
Only 3. Okay. Your electronic device is indicating that ghostly son of a bitch is in the room.
You see this? He's like pointing at the screen. He's like, look. There is something here. I knew it.
Is this ghost in the room with us now?
Yes, you smarmy son of a bitch. So he'll like start waving it around to try to like pinpoint it. So like I'm imagining it like one of those radiation detectors where it like pings harder.
Another book's just missed your head.
I just had a disturbing thought. Flying books, all of this stuff. Is it possible this is the abode of another hunter?
No.
Or a place that some hunters is using?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That is what you're thinking of now? I'm dodging books over here.
It could be a
Yeah,
ghost.
right. Good point. I'm going to go over and I'm going to try and like smack books away.
Smack the books. Okay, can you give me strength and... It's not... You've got melee, really... Okay, give me a strength melee for trying to attack the books.
Oh. I was thinking you would pick athletics, but I'll take melee because it's better.
Are you going to attack the darkness?
Is it melee? It's melee rather than brawl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd said a moment there. I'm usually fairly confident about this stuff.
3.
You have absolutely smacked the heckings out of that pile of books.
So at this point, this will probably be the first time you've seen Sonia in something that could be described as a combat encounter. After you said last time you were desperate to see this, so you see god powers in that she's doing flips and her stick lights up every time it hits a book, and it's quite spectacular, like almost Hollywood movie action scene esque, even though the books are, it's book fighting. And when she's done, she just stands there breathing, holding her stick, looking around for more books to hit, and then goes back to being the Sonya you know and love, and just being like, "Are you okay?"
I imagine like every time you smack a book, pages go flying, and like Felix is dancing around like a madman. Like, yes.
An interesting fighting style for books, but it will do.
It works on human-shaped people too.
Are the books like continuing to be thrown? And
No,
she's,
not
like, batting them out
continuously.
of the
It's just
air?
every so often. It's like trying to get your attention kind of thing rather than an attack.
Where are the books originating from?
The stack that you pushed off the shelf when you were looking for a thing to pull a book out.
Oh, I'm gonna go to them and ask them, "What do you want?"
I know something that would be cool, but I need to figure out if they can do it.
It's a ghost.
Dripping blood letters on the wall.
We've done that. I'm not doing that
The
again.
walls will ooze green slime. Oh wait, they always do that.
Green slime. Okay.
Dripping blood letters on my chest.
Paper cuts. Oh no. I'm getting distracted. I shouldn't let that happen. What would this be? I'm going to call it Dex Intimidation. It kind of is. 1, 2, 3. How's this going to go? One of the books is thrown out into the hallway towards the stairs.
Okay.
Is my meter like also pointing us in a direction, or?
Yeah, the room that you're in now, no ghost in there.
Okay, maybe we follow the book.
Sonya immediately realizes, oh wait, you send these books trying to tell us something, and I think I owe these books a lot of apologies for what I just did to them.
But luckily there's loads of paper around now.
You definitely did not break any tenets by smashing up all this knowledge.
It was Stephen King books. It was modern horror drivel.
Oh, I should have put some Man Rice in there, shouldn't I?
What I'm gonna do is I am going to
Felix is heading to the stairwell indicated by the book.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick up the book, and then I'm just going to tell it, "Don't toss this out of my hands. Just pull it in a direction, ever so slightly."
Okay. I have to do another roll for that then. What's that going to be?
I'm also, just to make a point, I'm not leaving my stuff behind. Like, I've got that bag I can just sling over a shoulder and put my hat on, pick up my cigar.
Got you. You know, this is because it's kind of pulling you. I'm going to roll Dex and Drive, where you're the thing that's getting driven.
They're driving me.
Yeah.
They're driving me to an early grave.
They got no successes.
You know that Lucas Fairbanks is really driven towards success.
Yeah, only in this case, the thing doing the driving got no successes, so it's not going to work. Pages are... The book at the bottom of the stairs, pages are coming out and, going up the stairs. Up each time.
And so shall I. I'll go up as well.
I follow, but then I say, okay, look, I did make a bit of a mess upstairs.
What was the mess you made upstairs? Apart from, we know you looked under stuff and moved things around.
I trashed the rooms, basically. I moved things around. I
got you.
I sort of lifted things up and... Wait, what was that?
That was...
People fucking deciding to scream in my house.
I think that's the ghost that lives upstairs, maybe.
For a second, I thought I was coming from outside, and I thought, oh god, is something happening in the street. Okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. What's going on upstairs? Yeah.
You're hearing stuff shuffling around in the front left bedroom. So the smaller of the bedrooms that doesn't have the protection against the sun.
Right.
Was that the kids' bedroom or?
Yep.
Okay. Spooky kids. All right.
Love to see it. The book's run out of pages, and it can't go. It can't show you any further than that. Who has followed up the stairs?
I've followed.
Okay.
Yep. I say we give this a thorough searching.
Whoever wants to do an intelligence awareness, please. Difficulty 4.
Yep. Can I add my dice for the improvised device?
No, because that's not helping you on this occasion.
Okay.
I got 2 out of 4.
2 successes, 3 successes. Oh, that's the previous thing. 5. You got a crit, Felix.
Yeah, it looks like.
Okay. Just checking the... Okay, in a cupboard in the children's bedroom, there's a bunch of small die-cast cars. There's like what looks like a robotic lion. Pieces of spirograph. And a toy robot that turns into a truck.
Does a spirograph, is that one of those things like it's gears with like a pencil?
Yeah, that's the one.
Makes
Yeah.
designs?
Is that the same thing in the US? I think it was. I was trying to pick
I think
stuff that was
so.
like common to both.
Oh, I forgot about those existed. Now I've just remembered them. They were fucking great.
Yeah, I wonder if we can use this like a Ouija board or something.
A Luigi board?
Yeah, a Waluigi board. Oh, a Ouija board, you know. A Ouija board. You speak to the spirits within.
Can I look at the toy?
You certainly can. You can give me...
Is it an official? I mean, I've got 2 things. One, am I getting any kind of like occulty vibes from it? And 2, is this an official transformer or a cheap knockoff?
It's an official transformer.
Probably Gen 1 or 2.
Okay, Sonia's going to be just going to struggle to try and keep things on track, but this is quite an exciting find. But she's going to try and see if she can like sniff it, get any kind of sense of like who played with it, I guess.
Sonya
Because she's
also a
got
transformer.
vague like angel powers. I don't know and she doesn't even know to what extent these reach. So she doesn't know if these things are going to work or not, but she's going to try and see if she can get some kind of vibe from it.
Mm-hmm. Give me a resolve occult.
Okay. I've got a specialty in vampires on that.
Yeah, but it's not a vampire, so I can't give you that this time. So just the normal pool.
Fine.
There will be vampires. There have been vampires. There continues to be vampires, but
I got
not here.
3 successes.
That is pretty darn good. This toy has been played with a lot, but it's also been cherished.
I say, I don't know if this is like part of my whole chosen one thing, but This toy was played with a lot and loved by someone. Don't ask me how I know that. I just know that. And I do not know as much about the world as you two do. But I do know that vampires don't tend to play with toys.
Maybe the vampire had a relative or something.
Maybe that's possible. I don't know, but this something is really odd here.
Early
Obviously.
folklore had them returning to spread their curse amongst their friends and family. Or almost pathologically, they could not leave their own families alone. And sometimes it holds true.
You know, I can understand that. If you're going to live forever, you don't really want to see your loved ones die. I mean, nobody wants to see the loved ones die anyway, but you know what I'm saying.
So yeah, when you say that, like Felix kind of gets like a stony glint to his eye, and then he like picks up the lion thing, and starts to kind of look at the lion toy a little harder.
Do you want to give me the same occult and resolve roll, please?
Okay.
That is 3 successes. I mean, it's a toy. It's an old toy. It's been played with. There's like a couple of bits where it's been knocked, but you're not getting anything special, like a sense of it from particularly.
Okay.
Lucas, is there a chance you know much about ghosts?
Occult 3, probably.
That's what I thought.
I just can't roll my specialty in vampires. I have intelligence 4, occult 3.
Yep.
So probably.
I'm just checking your. That's not yours. That's the problem. As soon as I got to Seth, I was like, I'm looking at Sonia's sheet. The hunt. Creed field. Yeah, can you give me a an intelligence occult, and I'll see if I can.
Yeah, I can.
I'll see if I can give you a little bit of info.
No specialty, obviously, because it's not a vampire.
Unfortunately, not.
But 3.
Okay, 1 second. Doing some mathematicals before mathematically. Oh, it's going to give me a link to a page. Marvelous. All I have to do is scroll through 200 pages, and this will be fine. Come on now. You remember reading somewhere that ghosts are often tied to an object. That's what you remember.
Sorry, what?
Ghosts tied to an object.
Oh, this is a feather.
I love that the captions turned that into a feather. Sorry.
It's a feather.
It's a fetter.
This is a fetter. It is a thing that ties a ghost to a location. We are dealing with a child ghost.
Wait,
So what
Are you
happens if
serious?
we destroy this fetter? Thinking about the word,
There
uh,
are
will release.
there are a group of vampires who do the very same thing that you are suggesting. They don't destroy them, but they hold them hostage to make the ghost do whatever they want. This
So
ghost has unfinished business, and it might be easier to speak with it if we have this in our hands.
Or we could just say, "Yo, hey, ghost." I start speaking to the room. If you could like fling books around, could you like hold a pen and write down what you want, and maybe we can help you?
that's why I got the spirograph thing out.
Yeah, use this if you need assistance. Like this might have been yours, so you probably know how to use it.
Is there like a pen thing there? I think there's just spirograph pieces.
Oh,
I'm gonna pick up the toy that's attached to, and see if it's gonna like infiltrate my fucking brain.
Oh. Have to roll again.
Roll for brain infiltration.
Roll for brain. No, it's going to be Dex. It's going to be manipulation and drive again. Where Lucas is the thing being driven.
Roll for brain worms.
The bugs are back.
Wait, the bugs are back. They've been there before.
The bugs are back.
There's a story we can pull out another time. Only two. It's not going to work. They're not strong enough to like take control mechanically. Felix, your device is still detecting that they're in the room.
Okay, good. I'll like communicate that. But yeah, he wants to like talk about. So Felix doesn't know anything about fetters, but the word implies that it's tying something, right? Like a fetter is used to bind something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
he's like, if the problem is this fetter is tying a ghost to this place, maybe we take the hell out of here. People's dreams get better, that kind of thing. Or if you destroy it, does it destroy the ghost? He doesn't know. He's just asking.
I feel like Lucas would know.
Destroying it will cause the spirit a lot of undue stress and would be the worst possible thing you could do to it. To make people more at peace, we would have to take this with us for now.
I vote for the second option.
If we destroy this and it's its last tie to the real world and its own humanity, so to speak, it will turn into something much worse and will do a lot worse than just screw with people's dreams.
Would it not just go on to its reward?
No. That's not how that works.
How do we get it there? Because no child, ghost, or otherwise should be tied to this terrible place, causing suffering to others.
I will take it with me and I can hold it until we can find out how to speak with it. I probably have something at my home that could help.
You are not worried about the bad dreams?
I already have plenty of bad dreams.
I am sure this is true.
I think from memory, it's not even the only entity at your home.
No, it is not. My house is creepy for a reason.
Well, it sounds like you're the best person for this because you can let us know what the dreams are related to.
Yeah, let us not take this back to the pub. No. So I think Felix will also suggest maybe we talk to the neighbors or something, see if they remember anything about people that used to live here. Like that's a less creepy question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, who used to stay here? Do you know? Anybody know who's
All
lived
right.
here the longest? That kind of thing.
This
So
is
what's
a,
our cover
like-
story? Because we are again as a group of people.
this is a council flat, yes.
Yeah, basically, it's social housing. Yeah.
So what we want is like a really old man or woman or thing.
For no insult whatsoever, I think Sonia should do it because she looks the most person looking for counsel, Flatty. An old Victorian gentleman does not, and neither does a Frenchman. You
I'm
could
just
like
here,
knock on the door and be like, "Hey, I'm just checking out the place. I'm looking to move in, etc., etc." It would look better coming from Sonia, who looks like she belongs in this area.
Yeah, if all else fails, Felix will try it himself. Now that he's got backup, maybe we can like roll to aid each other. But yeah, either way, it'll be hilarious.
Where are the other drugs going?
So, you want me to? Well, I know we can't tell the truth entirely, but also, I'm very uncomfortable with the idea that. I mean, for a start, it is offensive on many fronts. What you said, Lucas, like truly, profoundly offensive on so many levels.
I'm just thinking
to people who
lines.
require council flats, and to people who look like me, and everyone in between. So you may need to check your own biases on these kind of locations.
You look poor enough.
I mean, I am pretty poor, but that's not the point. I live in a flat that's owned. I live in a flat in a building that is owned. Not by me, admittedly, but by someone who lets me stay there for free.
It is worth pointing out that no one has lived here for a long time, and you would not be the first person to die in here, maybe. So,
well, what I was trying to say is it would look a lot better coming from you than either me or Felix, not based on yourself, but based on look at me, dressed in like Edwardian fashion, and then look at Felix, who.
I look magnificent. I do not know what you imply.
It is a look. It is a look. What I was trying.
I mean, if you want me to take the lead on this, that's fine. But I mean, remember when you met me? Like people, like I put people off in some way or something. I don't know. But you know what? Fine, let's try it. Who? What do you want to do? Do you want to knock on a door, or do you want to go and look for someone who's out on the street?
I think it's as simple as seeing who is present at their home, and then just talking to them and saying, along the lines of, I'm apartment hunting, I just want to know about the building, about, the apartment upstairs, it's for rent or whatever.
Yeah, we could come up with a script if that helps. Like, I think Felix would be comfortable being like, his idea is we need to find whoever's lived here the longest, right? And maybe we ask a couple of neighbors to find that out.
The best people to ask would be the next door neighbors, right?
Theoretically, unless they just like moved in or that kind of thing. But yeah.
Did we get yes on public record searching? Because there should be like some sort of public record that
we could always pretend that like Lucas is your dad, right? And you're going to college and he's looking for a place to put you up while you go to school or something like that.
You can search the public records, but you can't do it here.
Yeah, okay.
I know that there's a website I could look at on my phone called 192.com. That will have that checks based on the electoral roll, the history of the people that have lived at this place, or any place really. You just type in the address and it'll tell you a list of names over the years of who is registered to vote there. It's not exactly perfect. A lot of people don't vote. It won't account for kids, and we're talking about kid ghosts, but it's something.
Do you want to give me a intelligence technology then, and we'll see how that goes?
I think yes, we do look up the things.
Yeah, who's doing the searching thing?
I think, did Sonia volunteer, or did someone else want to do it?
Yeah, I was using my phone, so...
Okay. Yeah, if you're uncomfortable doing the other dumb thing that I suggested, we don't have to do it. I just thought that might be funny.
Oh, damn.
I think it's not a dumb thing. It's just that Sonia can't do it very well.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it because I think it'll be fucking hilarious. But it may be a disaster to ask Sonia to both lie and inquire. But she's great at looking at her phone, which this role suggests.
I keep almost moving things around in OBS, and I need to not do that. What you find on your internet service is that the flat was owned by a single person, a man with a name, which I should have written down on the same page as everything else, but I didn't. Before that, it was owned by a family. There was 2 named people on there up to the mid-80s. But it looks like they moved out, and now I'm looking to see where I wrote down the guy's name who owned it after that. But it was a guy, if that's any help.
It was a guy.
So 2 people lived there until the mid-80s, and
Yeah.
then they left.
And then they left, and some other and one guy moved in by himself.
So they sold it to this new person.
Presumably.
Okay.
Or they were the occupier anyway. It's based on council tax records, I think, so... Or was it phone book? One of those 2.
Okay, so I say, well, I guess due to the right to buy thing that happened,
Mm-hmm.
this was owned in the 80s by this couple. I say the names, but I don't know the names yet. And they...
William, the couple were... Hang on. Henry and Freya Brooks.
Henry and Freya Books. I don't say the names, actually. What I do is that I say, I've got the names of the previous couple, but I've seen a lot of films, and I know that if I say these words out loud and they did something horrible to the child ghost, the child ghost is going to lose their shit. So I'm just going to show you the screen with the names on to people and be like, these are the people. Don't say their names out loud just in case.
And the man who owned it after that was William Holt. Holt.
Why is that name familiar to me?
I don't know.
It's not come up in the game before, has it?
Do you think so?
Then in that case, I must have known someone at some point called William Holt.
It's always a risk. I do Google to make sure I've not accidentally picked a famous name for people, but...
I don't think you haven't this time. It just felt familiar. Don't worry. This is a me thing. Don't worry. But yeah. Yeah, so I present that to the group.
I don't want to accidentally, like, oh, you've met a vampire called Cliff Richard.
Look up those 2 names and that 3rd name and see if it's related to any child of any degree.
Good plan. I'd like to type all these
any
names
BBC
into
national stories, any things like that. ITV is also available.
The UK Sex Offender Register is actually accessible online.
True.
So that's the first thing I was going to put their names into, and then after that, I'll just do a general Google search of all 3 names.
Give me a sec, 'cause I wasn't ready for the Sex Offenders Register.
I wasn't ready for the Sex Offender Register.
Nobody is from any angle.
That goes fucking wild.
Oh, that's going to get clipped. Okay. If your technology intelligence roll had been amazing, I wouldn't make you do it again, but that one was okay. Can you give me another tech intelligence roll, please?
Wow, the roll shaming. Brutal.
I just want to keep it interesting. You might not find it out. I want to leave that option available. Because I remember what the internet was like this time. 2
successes this time.
Okay, Sex Offender Register has nothing for any of them.
Okay.
The other
I mean, that's
search
a
is
big
calling up a
plus in
blank.
my book.
Sorry?
The other
I said
sorry. You speak, Felix.
I was saying, I mean, not finding anything in the registry is a big plus in my book.
Sonia would say to this in character, she would be like, well, they're not on the list, but most sex offenders get away with it. So we should still avoid saying their names in this place, just in case.
I mean, also it was the 80s, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been practically decriminalized now in the UK, but back then it was even more effectively decriminalized by being a sex offendy fuckhead.
This is fun conversation.
Keep it light.
We're playing a
World of
Darkness
Darkness.
game.
It's fine.
This is where it's going to go. I mean, I didn't expect it to be...
So the first hit, though, was like a couple that had a child, I thought, right?
Yeah.
That sounds rather wholesome compared to where we were taking it.
I was saying like hit the parents first and see if there was any like national accident on the news or anything.
Yeah, that'd be the
London,
second
yeah.
thing. That'd be the thing I do after the searching of the sex offenders. Where I just,
Do you want to do this while standing up in the bedroom, or do you want to decamp elsewhere for this? If you're going to, it feels like we're pushing in the research direction.
Yeah, I think we go back to the pub, maybe.
Well,
and-
before that, I would just be like, all right, I'm going to do the thing then. I'm going to knock on the next door neighbour's door.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that I'm in the area because I'm going to be assigned a flat here. And I want to know more about the area.
Right.
Felix
Sonia
would like to aid the role.
Okay, I'm keeping you in reserve there. Sonia, I'd like to have a discussion with you about what you feel the role of this would be appropriate. Now, I would err towards usually persuasion manipulation, because you're trying to persuade them that you are trying to find out information that is not true. Now, I've seen what your pool is for that. I'm going to offer you, if you want, what about resolve and etiquette? You got nothing in etiquette, but you've got 3 in resolve.
I mean, this is a...
I know this is not what your character was built for.
It feels like cheating. Because this feels like I'm doing something socially.
Well, no, because if you're doing something socially, but what skills do you feel is Sonia going to draw on to do this? This like affects the angle that you take. So you can say what pool. I encourage it. In fact, please remember this for later. If I suggest a pool and then you're like, no, I'm going to do it this way, that's fine.
Okay, so
if you want to do like streetwise manipulation, that's a possibility.
I think the angle I'm going to go for is I don't want to screw this up. This could be very important. I'm going to really maximize my likability over my direct skills at being with people. So I'm just going to basically going wrong. This would be seen as coming off way too strong and being super weird.
Mm-hmm.
Going well, this would be me being an absolute fucking delight. And that would mean I would have to use charisma.
Right.
Which is even worse.
You're going to get a +1 from Felix helping.
Right.
But also, and I'm not going to go into this role with negativity in my heart because who would do that? But if you wanted to, you can spend 1 willpower and re-roll up to 3 dice. So keep that option in mind if you want to use that willpower, because it feels like you're using willpower. You want this to work, so that feels narratively appropriate to me.
And resolve does sound appropriate too, because like resolve is like effort over time or like stick to itiveness kind of.
So resolve and what? Resolve and performance?
Yeah, I think that would be it. Resolve performance.
I know how that's going to... Okay, and add 1 for Felix helping you.
So maybe the way this works out, the way Felix helps, is like you have to like psych yourself up. If it's a performance, maybe you're like, all right, I need a motivation.
You've got an angry French guy standing behind you. Might be enough motivation. I don't know.
Like as an actor.
All right, I take in your advice.
Give me a second while I try and assess difficulty for this. Give me a second.
So we come up with an elaborate backstory for Sonia.
I think what we can do is we can come up with an elaborate plot arc where Sonia learns how to be charismatic and able to perform. But we'll get to that. I'm going to... Okay, this is mean, but it feels appropriate. 4 successes is your target.
All right, I'm going to do the thing then.
Okay, you've got 3. Do you want to spend a willpower and re-roll that 1 die that didn't
I'm gonna
come up for you?
That sounds like fun.
Okay, so take 1 willpower off on your character sheet.
I now have 4 willpower.
That's okay. They'll refresh it the next day.
Oh, well, I'm going to spend these every time I roll then, if that's the case. Right, so I need to roll a d10, is that right?
Yes, and it needs to be more than a 6. Or 6 or above. Oh,
4.
You can
Oh,
do it
well.
again if you want. You get 3 rolls. I'm going to let you do it repeatedly because I'm feeling very
Oh,
generous.
3 rolls on 1 willpower.
You were meant to be able to reroll up to 3 dice. I'm going to let you reroll 1 dice 3 times.
Nope. No, it's not going to happen. No, that's
Okay.
it.
So on 3 successes, you've knocked the door. Felix
So
is
I
there
walk-
with you.
I go into the
You've
whole
got
thing.
those 3. You haven't got 4, which is enough to get it nailed. How do you feel like 3 is going to play out? And you can do this between the 2 of you if you want, because Felix is there too.
I knock on the door and the person opens it. I say, and everything I say is finally polished. It's just way too long. It goes on for like 3 full minutes of me explaining every intricacy of the fictional story of why I'm there. So, and 3 minutes is actually quite a long time for someone just to be stood there talking at you. So yeah, that's like I nailed everything except I should have stopped talking about 30 seconds in. But I just
think
kept
sometimes
going.
when Sonia starts to slow down, Felix is like, and then remember about the ducks?
Yeah.
And the rubber boots, the yellow booties. Like just hinting at like backstory stuff. And then Sonia just goes on even longer about irrelevant stuff. But he thinks that the way to convince people you're telling the truth is just to have tons of extraneous detail.
Yeah.
Whereas,
so I get nervous about things ever since like that accident on the roller coaster as a kid, right? So that's why I'm here, because I'm nervous about moving here. Is there anything I should be nervous about? Are you nervous?
the person you're talking to is a Nigerian woman. She's got a child that she's holding, who's she's kind of like bobbing with as you're talking. She's listening out of politeness, and it's, what did you originally ask? Should I be taking a pamphlet or something?
No. I'm going to be living here shortly, and I get anxiety about new places. So I was hoping you could tell me if there's anything here that isn't good.
1 second. Are you moving into William's old place? Has he left? We thought you'd just gone on holiday.
I don't know which one. I've just been told by my caseworker with the building, not any numbers or anything.
Oh, you're okay.
But William, who's William?
He used to live the next house along. He seemed like a nice guy, but I didn't see him very much.
Huh. I mean, that's so common, in London. Who really gets to know their neighbours? My neighbours, when they see me, actively run away.
No, he was quite active on the like the neighbourhood group thing.
Huh. Interesting.
There was like a whole thing last year. They were trying to redevelop the area, and we kind of all got together and stopped them.
Oh, right on. So what were they? Why did you stop them?
Oh, because they wanted to like knock down the flats and move everyone out.
Oh, I thought they. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought when you said, from what you said, it was like they were going to refurbish everything.
No, they were going to knock everything down and build like very expensive flats and pret-a-manger and all that kind of stuff.
Well, good for you for stopping them. It's going to be a strange question, but did you ever see William in daylight?
In daylight? No, he worked at nights in the hotel.
Huh. I look at Felix. Mm-hmm.
Yes. The hotel. What hotel? We might need a room somewhere local while we look for an apartment.
No, somewhere in Southwark. I never really asked.
A William Holt.
Does she look tired? Like,
she looks like tired, like you'd expect a mom to look tired.
Okay. Well, I don't want to pry too much because, like, I don't know, hassling ethnic minorities on a council estate wasn't on my bingo card today.
This is a very diverse estate.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and maybe see you next time at the your community group.
Yeah, sure. And she steps back and closes the door.
I turn around, see, right? Okay, we got some information that's very important, obviously, but also, see, I told you, I put people off.
What are you talking about? You did fantastic. Amazing. All of the details.
You saw that look. I've seen that look 1,000 times. That look of just what had just happened, or what are you? People don't get me, man. They don't get me, and that's fine because I don't even want to get them anymore. Yeah.
Oh, but we learned so much. You told her about your fear of ducks. And
well, yeah. I mean, but that wasn't really the goal. But anyway, let's go tell Lucas what she told us.
yes, let's find that creepy old man, and we'll go further.
I was walking away. Sonia just says to Felix, maybe we should try and find like a hunter who is like good with people to join our group.
Yeah, they do not exist.
Well, there's going to be some hunters there who have got the gift of the gab.
I have not met one yet, but maybe you're right.
Fair enough. But yeah, we go find Lucas.
He asked you about, like, is it your trainer's name like Millie or something like that?
Millie.
Does she do hunt anymore, or is she retired?
Well, she didn't really do that many hunts herself, just in times of emergency, from what she said. She was more. The thing with the minders are, their whole thing is that they are placed in a lot of countries, and their job is to, like, mostly, unless they are minding a designate, they're waiting for the next one when the previous designate dies. So most minders are waiting for something to happen near them that probably never will. Like, Millie had given up, basically, when I came along, ever fulfilling her destiny, quote unquote. So when it comes to them, they're not really hunters. They support one hunter. Does that make sense?
Yes, but she must be good with talking, I imagine.
She knows her shit, and she has killed vampires before. Just probably, but I mean, I killed more vampires in my first month than she has in her whole career. So that tells you something.
Lucas, where are you at this point?
Still trying to commune with the spirit. Has actually started saying the quote-unquote forbidden names to get a better idea of what this thing wants. I'm starting to believe it might not be, in fact, a child, but it might be one of the people we're looking for. Avid collector sort of deal. This ghost will not succeed in giving me any useful information.
Yeah, you're not getting anything out of this, I'm afraid, with the stuff you're doing just now. Just looking at our time, do you want to write this as, we're going to go back and do some research. We will do those rolls and then pick this up on the next session.
Yeah, I'm gonna start, I think, drop them off at wherever they want to go.
Mm-hmm. And are you going to take the transformer?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the toy with me. But I'm also gonna ask my driver on official business, with the prospect of potentially. Again, I am not a British person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the idea of buying these flats are, but with the interest of my employer would like to buy these flats, however he is otherwise busy, can I get some records on the tenants that have lived in the building in the past, however long those three people had lived in that building for? So like the couple, and then the one guy.
If the owners are local council, you can probably find out from them, and if the owners are a housing authority, they may have the information, but it might be hard to get.
Yeah, I'm gonna send my driver to go.
Housing
and,
association, I should say.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my driver go and try and get that. If not, I might have to go down there myself and swing my large,
Careful.
girthy wallet around.
Thank you for rescuing that.
My
Are
wallet.
you okay with me drawing the day to a close at this point and then picking up at a new day?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I got one more roll to do, and it's a D6 because I'm being weird with this one. Okay, Sonia. Fingers crossed for this. About 4 o'clock in the morning, you get a phone call from Simon.
I'm sorry?
At about 4 o'clock the next morning, you get a phone call from Simon.
Right. I answer my phone. I'm still awake. I was, at this point, on Reddit arguing incessantly about a minor plot point in Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 2, episode 4. Oh, hey Simon.
It's happening now. Come here now. I'll text you the location. Tell your friends.
Okay. I switch my phone. I end the call on my phone, grab my stuff, and I yell out, "Millie, it's now!" And I text Felix and Lucas.
And the address you get is 32 Bridge Street, London.
Avengers.
Avengers
And
Assemble.
that's
indeed.
where we're going to end it.
Nice.
So I'm going to put this off the map where we've just sat looking at the apartment for the whole stream. Yeah, we've got all this space now. I hope everyone had a good time. That has been episode 3 of Whirl and Rush. Oh, thank you for staying with us, Brian. Next game on this channel, I believe, is Die, which I think is scheduled for tomorrow. I haven't heard that it's not happening anyway. And after that, there will be Call of Cthulhu on Saturday. Has anyone got anything you want to plug?
Nope, except for this game 2 weeks from now.
Oh, and 2 weeks from now, we'll be at a slightly different time because the UK will have passed through the clocks changing, so we will be an hour earlier if you're not already an hour earlier. So UK and Britain, it'll still be 11:30 p.m., but in Americas, it'll be an hour earlier.
6:30.
So yeah, 6:30 if you're in EDT, I should say. I will put a thing up on after the stream, and it will have some of the times on it, and also I'll do posts on social media. If you follow us on Discord, the link is underneath. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can get the accurate event times for wherever you are. So I'll go quickly through the players. I'm going to start with Evee. Did you have a good time? Is this all right?
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself. I feel less awkward now that we've all had our private chat about the Encyclopedia of World of Darkness knowledge that I am and Lucas kind of is.
Logan? We just went dark when we said that. I said your name and it went dark behind you. You're muted, I think.
Don't speak.
Oh, hi. Yeah, what question am I supposed to answer?
Did you have a good time? Was this all right?
Yeah, no, this is fun. I'm looking forward to investigating children ghost things. Hopefully ones that have not been harmed creepily by adults. And getting to the bottom of this whole why are we standing in front of the giant shard building thing?
Someone just Googled the address.
Sure did.
Sonia, Michelle, did you have a good
Hello.
time?
Yes, I did.
Excellent.
I am intrigued by how this ghostly child and parents who may have been monsters but may not have been is going to shake out on how they are related.
Or if they're even parents.
Good point.
I am just going to look and see if there's anyone to raid out of the people who we know who are on now, because this is an unusual time of day for me to be looking for a raid. Go and say hi from us. We'll be back here in 2 weeks at a slightly different time. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll get that afterwards. thank you very much for watching. Bye.
Bye.